everybody. Thank you for coming to my speech today. I will be talking about making zoos wildlife sanctuaries. My name is Brooke April, and one of my biggest ideas in life and biggest beliefs is having animals stay in a safe space and having animals roam as free as they can under protection as well, because the world is very mean towards animals, so I just want that to be something that we take care of. And I was just wondering, I have a question for you guys. When you go to a local zoo, what conditions do you see the animals in? Normally, we would say that those animals are kept in a pretty small, confined place. Put yourself in their positions. Being stuck in a room for years, being able to barely move, I mean, it seems absolutely like torture. Let me pull up a picture here to show you guys how inhumane this truly is. Sorry, technical difficulties. All right, so over here we have animals such as like elephants, which should never be in a zoo at all because they're far too big, and polar bears, which clearly this does not look like an iceberg. They are definitely under some certain circumstances that are just terrible, and then they all just look so depressed. And then over here we have a bear sanctuary, which is full of cement and filth, and it's nothing like their actual home. And over here we have a hippo in a small confined cage, which is just awful considering how big those animals truly are. Now, according to the National Library of Medicine, in an article titled "The Sanctuary Gap," they state that sanctuaries can yield research which can lead to many discoveries about wildlife. This will be more beneficial to wildlife populations because sanctuaries will house certain animals with certain injuries and help them heal them back to a livable position, but they cannot release them into the wild because at the end it will hurt the animal, because that animal does not know how to thrive in the wild with its certain position with the injury. During the healing process, researchers can obtain information they need to once the animal is done healing, and then they can be released into the wild if the animal is in the right conditions to be released into the wild. Now, keeping an animal in the zoo for a lifetime should be illegal unless the animal will not thrive in the wild. If it is under the circumstances that the animal is not in the right place to be released, they should be kept in an appropriate environment. Now, I will show you the appropriate environment. Over here, we have researchers and tour guides showing us in a natural environment tigers. These tigers are just minding their own business on the road, going for like a little walk or something. And then over here we have a variety of other animals just in the wild, spotted, not bothered, not being confined in a small space. Over here we have a grizzly bear in its natural habitat full of grass, and as well as elephants. Now, if you look at the old pictures before, the elephant looks very depressed, but all these elephants are with their friends, which is very good considering that most of them are alone in zoos. She was even, now we have an animal, for example, called Winter the dolphin. She was found with an injured tail and she got a prosthetic, and while she was being healed, the researchers realized that they couldn't have her stay in the aquarium for life stay in the ocean for life because she wouldn't thrive due to her prosthetic. Now, to keep her under a happy life conditions, they kept her in the aquarium, but also had her in a full life-size tank with another friend named Hope, who was also a sick dolphin. And now, I want to say, the Children's Nature Retreat states that we should not exploit animals, we should let them live freely and happily just like us humans. No animal should be put in a prison-like cage to be stared at. That's why we have Google. I encourage you guys to stop going to the zoos and start supporting wildlife sanctuaries, or even start a petition to convert your local zoo to a sanctuary. While it is important to note that zoos contain the last few endangered species according to the Philadelphia Zoo, we must ensure these zoos are kept to keep animals safe and treat them as we would treat ourselves. Sanctuaries increase the amount of research on certain species while also keeping them in a safe environment from slaughterhouses and petting zoos. Overall, these animals have feelings and are a good part of humanity that has forgotten that. We should work together as a society to help lower the rate of animal mortalities in zoos and raise the rate of these animals from abuse. Put yourself in the place of these animals where you cannot talk, you don't have a voice, and all you have is hope that one day the world will stop hurting you and finally listen. Now, I just want you guys to go home and think about all these animals and just compare them to the last slide, which I will put up right now. And just think about how you would feel in this situation where you cannot talk, you have no voice, and you're being kept in a dirty, filthy room. Because for us, we have the option to clean that room. They don't. They have to rely on other humans who don't want to do their job, who don't want to keep them safe. But if we put them in their natural habitat, like on the other slide, they get to live a happy life while also being able to have research done to them while also not harming them. Thank you for my speech. I hope you guys can learn a lot about this and start a petition and make your local zoo a wildlife sanctuary.